So the next one I've got down the list is Tyrese Haliburton versus Lamelo. I wrote Bell, but I'm guessing
I went into this, and I really the argument for Lamelo Ball is versatile scorer, and he is more willing to score, and Tyrese is more of a here's the
absolutely
stats right now as I click. Has 8.6 assists to Tyrese Haliburton, 20 points, 4 rebounds, 10. This is more of a facilitator. Lamelo is a scorer. If I was building a team around someone, it would probably be Lamelo, but Tyrese is having the better season, and if I'm not mistaken, Lamelo's played half the games. Lamelo's hurt.
Lamelo's one of the players. He's only played, I think, 18 games.
Yeah,
Yeah,
18
Lamelo's
games.
one of the players. He's only played, I think, 18 games. I think one thing that is interesting to me, and this is coming from a Pacers fan. I am surprised to learn that
Yes, he's shooting better in
Tyrese
every
is
way, if I'm
shooting
not
better
mistaken.
from three than Lamelo. He is shooting better in every way, but better from
I mean,
three is something that's more
Tyrese
shocking
is
to
a
me.
40% career three-point shooter,
I
so is
do
that really
think.
surprising?
Go on. It shouldn't be, and that's kind of like. It shouldn't be, and that's kind of like. I think it's because he's such a quiet player. He is. We talked about David Robinson when we were talking about the statues earlier, and I think it's kind of that same thing. Like, there's not a lot of the showboating, so like you don't notice it. There's not the Steph Curry shooting a three, and while it's in the air, you're already doing your sleeping celebration, like, because you know it's going in. Like, Tyrese is just a quiet scorer. He doesn't showboat a lot. He's a very humble guy. So I think that's why I'm surprised to learn that, because I've not noticed him. I mean, I have, because
0 for 8, baby.
you and I have had the conversation about Tyrese's shooting, because
0
you
for
decided
8.
one night that when Tyrese went 0 for 8 from 3, that was Tyrese. But I've always just imagined Lamelo
He's a better scorer,
as
for sure.
a better or more efficient scorer, and that's not. I don't know. I don't know.
I think it's easier for Tyrese to be
he is
efficient
right
when.
now.
I mean, granted, Lamelo's only played 18 games, but I think it's easier for Tyrese to be efficient when you have Buddy Hield around you and you have Miles Turner around you. Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the best 3-point shooters of all time. I don't know. I'm taking Tyrese, but
I have to. But my argument
I don't know.
would
I'm
be
taking
Lamelo is a
Tyrese,
better
but
scorer of the ball, and I look for that in a player more than the playmaking generally. But
for me, it's the opposite. So if I was building a team, so for me, it's the opposite. So if I was building a team, I would want the playmaker, because you can build a decent team around them. I would almost say an elite passer is harder to find than a scorer, because especially now, there's a lot of guys that can go get you 20. There's not a lot of guys that can get you 10 plus assists. So I prioritize the floor general aspect of it. I think Tyrese is a better defender.
This year.
And he's a better shooter, apparently. Didn't
Actually,
know
what
that.
is
But so
oh, then yeah, he is.
LaMelo's career is
too.
42, 37, 83. Yeah. So Trying to think of an argument besides the fact that Lamelo is such an electric scorer, but I can't see any reason I would take him over Tyrese. And maybe that's my Pacers bias, but even with his scoring, I think the fact that Tyrese is a positive defender and he seems to be a really good locker room guy this far in his career, which is shocking because he is super young still. That's who I would take. Austin, you've been quiet this round.
Yeah, I think I'm just. You all are hitting all the points. I'm just following Angelo, it seems, but I'm going Haliburton as well.
I mean, that's, to be fair, both of us took Haliburton that time.
Oh,
Following
this is going
Angelo.
to get interesting at the end then. Okay.
Do you think? Well, because I'm still looking at Lamelo here, and how long or do you think the Hornets, like, when do you think is their
Is
window?
never an answer.
Because right now, if I'm
It's
not
never an answer.
mistaken, the only team worse than them in the league is the Houston Rockets.
Is going to be gone.
But the guy you're building your franchise around
Yeah.
is there. He's going to be gone, so that's your
I
answer, is he's
refuse
going to
to
move.
believe the son of LeVar Ball is just going to sit there, accept Charlotte, and the team is No, I refuse to believe that it is in that man's personality matrix to be like, yes, I'm going to be loyal to this team even though we're trash. No.
So I will say, out of the Ball brothers,
He seems the
so
most
I will
calm.
say, out of the Ball brothers, he seems, and Lamella or Lonzo has, and like, really none of the brothers were anything like their father, but Lonzo was the
Yeah.
most like
Yeah.
young socialite, LA or bust player.
Mm-hmm.
Lamelo seems like going and playing in Europe, like that really benefited him and his growth as a person, because he
He
seems like
does.
a really good dude. Yeah, no, everything I've seen from him, he seems very respectful and mature. And like when you look back at like the Chino Hills days, like when he had that big afro and like pointing at half court and then shooting like the trash talk, he doesn't do that at that level. Like he still
Yeah.
is a trash talker, but I don't think if you're in the NBA today, you aren't. Um, but every interview, I mean, he seems, from an
I'm just
outsider's
saying.
perspective, happy to be there.
From
But that could
personality
all be
matrices I've seen from the father, I
media.
will give
Yeah.
LaMelo a better shot of leaving than staying if that team is trash. And it has been trash.
So hypothetically, they get Victor
Mm-hmm.
Wembanyama this offseason, or even Scoot Henderson. Are your prospects of that team changing in the near future?
Like next year, near future, probably not. Like
In the near
in a
future?
few years, in a few seasons, probably.
Next year or the season after? Because if I am a point guard that's in the top
Yeah.
tier of the NBA,
Yeah.
and you give me a
I'll
guy
give you
like
that.
Victor, I'm staying.
I'll give you that.
Because you have the opportunity to build something special there. So
I
moving
think they'll both be
along, I'm
interesting. We'll see.
debating between these two.